Good morning. Today is Sunday, May 24th. Hope you've all had a wonderful weekend, and I hope your Sunday is a great way to wrap it up. Got some Rooster Teeth news. Here's a tweet. We're partnering with FullSail to create a new Grimm that will be featured in RWBY Volume 8. FullSail students and alumni are eligible to submit new Grimm designs that will be judged by Rooster Teeth Animation. You all will be able to help select the winner by voting on the submission. Well, Rooster Teeth is actually getting some heat for this competition, and making it 100 times more interesting is an ex-Rooster Teeth employee who is also giving Rooster Teeth some heat for this. Before we get into all of that news, though, let me make a disclaimer at the very beginning, because part of the reason why we have come this far is the fact that we use merit. We have merit with the points that we discuss. I don't want to ruin that now, so let me just say, you can think that RT is in the wrong here. I'm not going to tell you how to think. We're going to take a look at some opinions, especially interesting, as I mentioned, the opinion of an ex-RT employee. I just want to establish at the very beginning that I am pretty sure this is not something like new and revolutionary that Rooster Teeth has done. I'm not justifying what they've done here, not saying anything like that. I just don't want it to come off like I'm saying, oh my gosh, RT has done this thing that no one has ever done before. It's so terrible. That's not what's going on here. Now, with that out of the way, let's roll the intro. Go get some coffee or something. I'll see you in like 10 seconds. First things first, let's get the details on the contest so we can know what we're talking about here. Here's what they say from the FullSail University website. FullSail University is partnering with Rooster Teeth Animation on an exclusive opportunity for FullSail students and graduates to design the next RWBY Grimm. Through this competition, you will develop an original Grimm character or backstory for the villainous enemies of the Huntress heroines Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang called RWBY. FullSail students and grads have a wide variety of skills and talents, so unleash your creativity through the medium of your choice. Sketches, 3D models, written origin stories, with vivid physical descriptions, or put your film costume and makeup skills to the test. The RWBY animation team will select the top 5 submissions for Rooster Teeth fans to vote on, and the winning submission will be featured in the upcoming season of RWBY. Key dates to keep in mind to get started: submission deadline June 21st, and voting July 6th, wrapping up on July 12th. Of course, all of that being 2020. There's a little submission form right there, and you get the idea. We're not sticking on this part very long. I just want to give you some more information. Apparently, FullSail has worked with Rooster Teeth before October 9th, 2018. They had this to say: FullSail partners with Rooster Teeth Games to bring the Fury to RTX. Students across degree programs work together to develop Fury Strike, an 80s-style fighting game that debuted at the convention. That's all I want to read on this. It's not, that important to the scope of this, just showing they have some history. All right, so here is ex-Rooster Teeth employee Jordan Whitman giving some, what he's calling, constructive criticism to Rooster Teeth and their contest. Let's see what he has to say. By the way, if you don't know, Jordan Whitman is a former artist for Rooster Teeth Productions, where he helped create Nomad of Nowhere, was an artist and voice actor for Preston Goodplay and Camp Camp, and also worked on Swing. Yep, that's from roosterteeth.fandom.wiki. All right, here's what Jordan has to say. Okay, I want to address this simply. Companies who hold contests to have your work shown in a show or movie need to stop, especially if they don't properly compensate. There are a million better ways to find or get work for things, but this just takes advantage of so much. 1 out of 6. And then we have some screenshots. Let's take a look at those. So that's the tweet. We already read that one, the official RWBY tweet. And then we have some information, prizes and approximate retail values. Now, I did check his source, where he got this from. He got it from the college website. Let me show you. You go to that URL, you scroll down all the way, click terms and conditions, and that takes you to this section where it looks like he has taken some screenshots and highlighted areas that he wants to discuss. So let's do that. It says 1, grand prize, Grimm concept featured in the show RWBY, and 1 RWBY and FullSail prize pack, approximate retail value $200 prize pack. 4 runner-up prizes, 1 RWBY and FullSail prize pack, approximate retail value $200. So the first 5 rewards are pretty much the same thing, except obviously number 1, you also get your work featured in RWBY. And then you have this: 5 prizes to be awarded in all, total ARV $1,000. Taxes on prize are the sole responsibility of the winner. I have to be honest, I don't know why he highlighted the taxes on prize are the sole responsibility of the winner. They aren't actually paying you anything, from my understanding. That's the approximate retail value of the prize pack. They're not actually giving someone $200. The retail value is $200. So that seems just like a disclaimer to me. Here's where it gets really interesting. Intellectual property release and license. By submitting any artwork, materials, designs, drawings, models, patterns, ideas, or any other works, you agree to grant Rooster Teeth Productions LLC a worldwide perpetual license to utilize the works in all media, now known or hereafter developed. This is similar to the type of clause you see on social media. For example, Instagram. If you post a picture on Instagram, at least many years ago, I haven't looked into Instagram in a long time. Many years ago, though, I'm assuming their policy hasn't changed. I just want to make a disclaimer that I haven't looked at their TOS in years. Anyways, many years ago, there was a lot of controversy with Instagram because in their TOS, if you submitted a picture, they would own that picture and could do whatever they want with it. It's just one example. You see this pretty often in social media. Still, why would Rooster Teeth include that in their contest? They're not a social media website. Well, it comes back to trying to make the terms as advantageous to you as possible, in my humble opinion. But I don't want to share my opinion on this. I want to take a look at Jordan's because it's interesting. An ex-employee. Let's see what they say. All right, so we left off right here. There are a million better ways to find or get work for things, but this just takes advantage of so much. The contest typically reads that they own everything you submit for it, which means even if you don't win, they can still use it later and you get nothing. If they insist on using students' work, why not make it part of the curriculum if you're an animation studio and want students to be a part of it? I know I said I wasn't really going to share my opinion, but I will on this one. I think that's a good take, very fair take. Especially from what I have seen, and I showed you guys, RT has worked with this university before in the past, in 2018, and they, have worked with them pretty thoroughly on this collaboration as well. They have a whole page on their website about it, talking about it. So why is it not some sort of extra credit or anything like that? I don't know. I think that's a great suggestion. I don't know why that didn't happen. To be fair, that's, you got to level that criticism at the university too. For all we know, Rooster Teeth did want that to be the thing, and the university said no. It's kind of unfair to only pin that on RT. To be fair to the university as well, maybe RT didn't ask. But if they didn't ask, the university could have. They could have said that. So I don't know. I don't know whose fault that is, to be fair. Let's just continue on. Say, that way they can get a reward if they win, and a learning experience, a class project that maybe goes through some of the steps of visual development that this studio takes, maybe to help prepare them for the real world and the studio's pipeline/process, while also having the shot at being rewarded. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. If anything, they should just stop in general or compensate everyone who makes art for whatever it is they're commissioning. It's extremely predatory and devalues the work of artists. Students, please, I urge you not to do this. It takes advantage of your actual worth and creativity and uses it virtually for free. And Rooster Teeth, I urge you to find a healthy way to change the contest to benefit both students and its winners. I have to kind of agree with that too. I mean, here's the thing. Even if the contest was not changed at all from the way it is now, I 100% think that Rooster Teeth should have included a clause saying that the person whose Grimm gets picked, they're going to, get a shout out or something. They'll get their name in the credits or something. Because as it stands right now, unless I miss something, I don't think I did though, but unless I miss something, it technically reads that Rooster Teeth will just use the Grimm and that will be your reward on top of the little prize pack, but they don't say that they'll actually credit you. I find it very unlikely that Rooster Teeth doesn't end up crediting the artist who ends up winning, but who knows? Who knows? Let's continue on. And part of the reason why I say that might be unlikely is, let me explain. There is a section on the university site. Let me show you really quick. At the very bottom of that FullSail website page, they have featured submissions. So I suppose at some point, they will have some stuff here. At the end of the day, though, it doesn't mean that the Rooster Teeth Grimm that they pick and the RWBY show isn't going to credit the artist. I don't know. I'm just speculating. So I guess, maybe they will, maybe they won't. Doesn't definitively say as far as from what I've seen. Or I guess in this situation, haven't seen. He ends with this. We are constantly taught in school not to do work for exposure, and the fact that your work could be used without even winning is worrisome, to say the least. I hope this helps, and hope Rooster Teeth finds a better, healthier way to make this happen. Overall, I think Jordan has some very fair points, and overall, I do think the contest is being handled poorly by Rooster Teeth. That said, I do feel like some of the arguments that Jordan is presenting here are disingenuous. I mean, let me put it like this. He says we are constantly taught in school not to do work for exposure. The problem here is that you don't even know if you will get exposure, even if you win the contest. Like I said, unless I miss something, it technically doesn't say that they're going to credit the artist that wins. So, hypothetically, there is no exposure. That said, Rooster Teeth is a pretty well-known company. RWBY is a pretty well-known show. We're not going to debate the failures of RWBY, the declining interest, and all of that right now. That's not the point. The point is RWBY is fairly well-known. Rooster Teeth is fairly well-known. And if Rooster Teeth could signal boost an artist, hypothetically, if the artist that won the contest gets a shout out from Rooster Teeth and gets their names in the credits of RWBY and maybe a Twitter post, let's go with that too. They get an official RWBY Twitter post, linking back to their Twitter account and their art. That is probably worth more than a monetary sum that Rooster Teeth would pay to technically commission that work. I'm just saying. When you're on the level of getting a shout out from a well-known company and a show, that has value too. So you have to weigh all of that. I completely get the argument that Jordan is presenting here. I just am giving you the full scope of it as well, because there is absolutely value in having Rooster Teeth signal boost your work, especially as an up-and-coming artist. There is value in that. The fact is, though, as I've said over and over again now, from what I've seen, there's no guarantee that they actually credit the artist. The exposure might never happen. And they didn't say anything about a tweet. I just made that up. I'm giving Rooster Teeth ideas here too. These are all better ways to handle the situation and to help out the artists. So I don't know why Rooster Teeth hasn't done more. That's my opinion on that. I also say the tweet would have to come from the official Rooster Teeth Twitter account, not the official RWBY one. The official RWBY one has like 60,000 followers. That tweet's not going to be worth that much, I'm going to be honest. A tweet from an account with 1 million followers, though, that does have value, and you have to account for that value. But yeah, man, let me just make it extraordinarily clear that I am mostly agreeing with Jordan on this, and I do think Rooster Teeth can do better with this contest. I just wanted to share my opinion on this a little more, expand on some things that maybe Jordan was not considering, or at the very least didn't bring up in his tweet. Because I think that's fair. You have to be fair in it. Like I said at the beginning of this video too, I don't think this contest style is, something that Rooster Teeth has done first, and no one else has ever done this. So still a mess overall. It's unfortunate. This contest could be a lot better. And Rooster Teeth doesn't even have to change that much. I mean, the suggestions from Jordan and myself are very simple. And I have a hunch that Jordan and myself came up with those suggestions at a moment's notice, basically. I wonder how much time Rooster Teeth had and what size team they had working on it. I'm just one guy. Jordan's just one guy. And we came up with those ideas like that. What if you actually have time to plan it in advance, a good chunk of time, and a team behind you? I would think that they could do better. I mean, at the very least, the school credit suggestion from Jordan is great. Forget my whole suggestion as well. I just wanted to make another argument that indeed getting a signal boost from an account with 1 million followers has value to it. That's all I'm saying about my argument there. I wholeheartedly agree with Jordan. The school credit thing, that should happen. But again, we don't know. Maybe Rooster Teeth wanted it. Maybe the university didn't. Maybe the university wanted it. Maybe Rooster Teeth didn't. Maybe none of them thought of it, which would be exceptionally scummy if none of them thought of that for their students. I mean, that's just embarrassing, especially on the university's part. I mean, especially on Rooster Teeth's part, too. Both of them, it's embarrassing. I mean, I'm not going to defend either company on that front. Company. Well, you get the idea. Not for profit, for profit. They're still companies, though. University is still a company. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm starting to ramble a little too much, so... It's an interesting topic, though. I like this discussion. It's been fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you enjoy the work that we are producing here, please consider hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing, and turning the notification bell on as well. That seriously does help. So does sharing the videos. Much appreciated. The first 20 for the Disney video from yesterday. Shout out to Omni G, Professor Trick Room, a Pokemon reference, Dinosaur King, Garth O. Oh, wow. Garth O retweeted a whole bunch. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Well, my system's a little scuffed now, though, because that took up like 7 slots. Shon M, Kenta, Aguraki Emiya, there we go, Dark, Caprasun, Bakugirl, Firefly, DX, DKJ, and Brady Drays. Thank you all. Sorry if I missed anybody. I appreciate the multiple shares. I never had that happen before. I didn't realize it would take up slots on my system. Garth, I appreciate it. Sorry, everyone else, though. You still helped out. I just don't know who shared, but you did help out. Thank you for that, and I'll catch you all next time.